Hi everyone, welcome back. Very good morning, good evening. Welcome back to ITOM batch 3, day 49. How are you doing guys today?
Thank you, Jay. Doing good. How are you?
I'm also doing good, thank you. Okay, I think let's get started. So today's topic is CSDM, right? So let me quickly share my screen. Let me know once my screen is visible. So there is nothing much related to practical things, but I'm just going through with that CSDM 4.0 white paper, which is provided by ServiceNow, which help to give little understanding about what is CSDM and how we can implement and how we can get the value adds implementation of the CSDM. Okay, so the first thing is, we need to understand what is CSDM, right? So CSDM is nothing but it's just a data model of CMDB framework across the product and platform, which enables and which enable will enable support and multiple configuration strategies, including our best practices related to the proper modeling of the data using out of the box tables and the relationships, right? So in different word, if I say, it's just a framework which help us to configure our services or configure our strategies in using the out of the box ServiceNow tables and the relationships. So at a broader level, right, what we earlier are missing, we are not able to do that particular type of mappings, and lots of tables are not introduced by ServiceNow that particular time. But slowly and gradually, ServiceNow is understanding the need of this one, the proper modeling, and they introduce the CSDM. It's just like a ITIL framework. If you know, ITIL version 4 is still going on, right? Where we have understanding about what is incident, what is problem, what is change, how that are tackled to each others, and there are lots of things related to that understanding of the best practices to implement the ITSM. Same way CSDM come. Now CSDM is consisted with two attributes. One is common service and one is data model. If I specific mentioning about common service a standard and shared set of services related definitions across the product and platform will enable support through service level reporting, right? So if I give you an example here, what is standard and set of shared services, right? So while because everything is service for us, right? Now that app service we have defined in the different categories, right? If it is a business specific service, we call business service. If it is, we are going to be create service maps, or it's infrastructure related components comes in the picture, we called application service. The same way, if we want to export some service for technical users or infra users specifically, we call technical services, right? But creating those services and arranging or mapping that relationships, so we can easily identify what is actually impacted, or which service is impacted, or which type of users are impacted, and who have to take ownership of those particular things. Then we are defining in common service. And the data model is just a framework across the platform or the product that will enable and support multiple configuration strategies, right? So the CSDM is providing, if you are creating a relationships with application service to a technical service, this is the standard relationships type you need to use, right? If you are creating a relationship between business service and business application, that the standard relationships type you have to use, or that's the data model where these particular attribute or these particular fields are required to maintain the data, right? So that comes under basically CSDM, right? Again, CSDM is not it's not a SKU or a product from ServiceNow. That is guidance within the guidance within the CSDM is standardizing and modeling of the CMDB that is used by multiple ServiceNow product, right? So if you know, that's why I'm saying, we are all saying the CMDB is heart of ServiceNow, which is going to utilize by every module of the service. Now if I'm specifically mentioning about ITSM, yes, that is going to be used out. If I mention about CSM, yes, that is going to be used out. If I mention IRM or the SecOps, that is going to be used out, and the same way HRSD and other things, right? So it just providing us a using that we are aligning our CMDB with the standardizing and the proper modeling, right? So again, CSDM is not a process or implementation guide for ServiceNow product. No, CSDM is not a set of reports. No, is not a code which you can install or an automatic fix for past implementation. No, that is nothing, anything related to that. Now, do you need to purchase CSDM? No. CSDM or ServiceNow provides all object and the CMDB core table documented in CSDM as a part of shipping out of the box, which help for data model regardless of licensing, right? So if I go with this particular picture where how CSDM is evolved from Kingston release to till now, that is CSDM 4.0. So till now, for 5.0 is coming in the picture, might be it's released in Yokohama, but yeah, till that how that evolved, right? So first of all, when that Kingston is started, they introduced two tables basically: business capabilities and business app, right? Then London CSDM, they introduced one table: application services, CMDB share service discovered, right? They introduced in Madrid the CSDM 1.5 CSDM 1.0 white paper is released, right? In New York, they have introduced two more modules. We can say service portfolio management, Reborn, and CSDM 2.0 white paper is released, right? Then Orlando, they released guidance related to product views, related to now learning, and CSM with solid install based products, right? Then Paris, they have released the technical service table. They released dynamic share group using the group with query builder, application service creation guides. They release business application onboarding and service offering to catalog item enhancements, right? So they release couple of things in the Paris this. And then Cubic, they release about managing metadata managed by a group, support and change group, and then they release use dynamic share groups basically, right? And also in Arom, they introduce service portfolio table. They introduce dedicated business service table, extend the CMDBCI service, which is earlier not there. They introduce business process is now fundamental element. They introduce location. They introduce lifecycle management. So how the lifecycle will be management, right? And then slowly and gradually, that particular things is evolving based on the understanding of the customer needs, based on the customer requirements. They are moving or adding specific tables, specific relationships, so they can design a standard framework across the all type of organizations. So as you know, ServiceNow is not serving for specific IT type of organizations. That can be used by healthcare, that can be used by BFSI customers, that can be used by the manufacturing, right? So ServiceNow is trying to prepare a model in that way that can be utilized by everyone with using the different type of their services based on their needs, right? So that's we are doing. I don't want to now, if you see what CSDM 4.0 comes, so they have introduced new table, CMDB business service, CMDB service business, SDLC component. They have added software development lifecycle components. They have definitions of the new CSDM tables. They have CSDM domain where you can uh, expand little in different way, where build domain is new domain, foundation is new tables and personas. They have added sell and consume domain, expand service portfolio they have added, then location management they have added, lifecycle management and product management, right? So couple of things comes in the CSDM 4.0. Now the question comes to us, why we have to be follow the CSDM? As I simple mentioned, the ServiceNow product or CSDM is standardizing their use of data on ServiceNow platform. The standard CSDM model, which defines or which identifies what data is managed within CMDB and related tables, current and future product from ServiceNow that utilize the CMDB and related tables may require data to found in the framework as documented within white paper, right? So it just to mature the visibility or the reporting, or I can say and managing the CMDB tables. That's why CSDM comes in the picture. Foundations are, principles, basically simplified concepts are there, designed for reporting and analytics purpose. Perspective relationships, shared data model collaboration is there, which supports simplified concept and collaborations. Definitions are there, specific definitions for tables and reference, which is going to be utilized. I'm coming to your question, whatever whoever raised the hand, right? CSDM out of the box tables are there, which is provided by gboot by default. Consistent data integrations are there. CSDM adoption will be there, data governance and process, and last is product use documentations will be there. So these are the couple of key principles which is founded on the CSDM level. Yeah, someone raise hand. Yes, please.
Um, yeah, since this has been called as a framework,
Yeah.
and going forward, or probably in the current scenarios, organizations are following the CSDM framework, and accordingly, they are making their CMDB more fruitful and more productive, with the
Mhm.
perspective of the relationship, with the perspective of the services, with the perspective of discovery, finding it up,
Mhm.
putting the services in the place.
Mhm.
Is there any way, probably like we have the PDIs. Is there any way like we can have a one example and probably like follow this and probably like have a one practical get it done and see like where exactly in the document these things are mentioned, and accordingly like we build a one service, we build a one relationship or something like that, which will be like much more clearer, and it would be like a kind of a
Coming
more
to
interactive session.
the way I am getting your point, I'm coming to on that point. First of all, you know, peoples need to understand what is basics of the CSTM, right? If I just directly started with example, I have already example ready here. If you see, if I tell you like, we have one business application which is O365, which is connecting to these particular applications, and then, right? You're not able to get it, what
No,
it
no,
is.
no. My sorry, if you understood in a different way. What I'm trying to say is that, say, example, now we are in some organization. If supposedly we are like following the CSDM, probably like why I'm saying that, because in every job posting people are mentioning this a technical jargon of CSDM. Uh, my idea of saying is that, is it in our this session, probably like we will be having a one example, probably like you will cover all those things perfectly all right, and one example practically how we can build it so that at least like more visibility.
I'm little straightforward on that side. I'm not going to showcase you any practical example for CSDM because I'm coming to at that point because I also not that much familiar on the CSDM side because I have not done any full proof implementation for CSDM. I worked for one or two projects there, but I've not done because what I feel CSDM
Hmm.
is technical. CSDM
Okay.
is all about the process understanding.
Hmm.
CSDM is all about the gathering the requirement from the customers, and based on that, using the out of the box framework or the CSDM, aligning those component in a single frame. That's it. So it just, data upload, making the relationships with that existing tables, again the data upload, and under that table which you are uploading the data, we have differentiated in couple of things. Like if I'm talking about application data upload, right? So application services, we have service mapping comes in the picture, which we are doing, right? Then if we say technical services, right, under that we are creating dynamic CI groups, mapping and other things, right? Business applications, again, business application can be consist of multiple application services, right? So actually we are doing internally work of it, right? CSDM is more related to understanding the customer business capabilities, business portfolios, and other things, and then designing or working with customer to getting the requirements and making the relationships. And again, I'm just saying CSDM is not possible to implement within 1 day or 1 month or 6 months. It at least take, if you want to implement complete CSDM, it at least take 1.5 year, because CSDM is very vast and it's going to be mature slowly and gradually, right? Because
Mhm.
different I can say different I'm just layers are there, different domains are there. If customer wants to manage each and everything domain, we have to be discussed with the customer related to each and everything. Now let me give you an example. You are working in organization, right? Have you ever able to fix that particular organization's the foundation data related tables? You see location have lots of garbage data, groups and users have lots of garbage data, right? That's there is no standardization, right? Company have
Yeah.
lots of things there. So if we want to make sure that our CSDM is fully implemented, we have to be start with the foundation data, where we have to be cleaned up the users, and if user is not active, that should be removed, or that should be there but status should be moved to the non-active. User related attributes should be updated properly. The same way group, it should be there. Proper users should be mapped. If user is not active, that should be removed from the group automatically, right? Then locations, locations is no one is managing in the proper way. There is no foundations things, right? Whoever want and anyone wants to come and put it any location in their wordings, and they are going to utilize it, right? The same way company is not standardized, so that we can use the normalized plugin which is available from ServiceNow. We have where we have to be normalize the location companies and allocations as well. So first the thing is, it's understanding about the foundation data. Then second is what I feel, we have to be collect that information from the customer with different stakeholders. Single person is also not going to be help you out here, and it's completely if someone asks me, it's complete job by a business process consultant, not a technical consultant. I never say I'm a business process consultant. That's why I'm saying technical consultant, because that is something I'm lagging still. I'm frankly saying on that particular part. But what I'm trying to, showcase you here and update you here, how that CSDM implementation can be done.
Now that I really appreciate, Ajay, that you are straightforward and setting up the things, setting up the expectations correctly. What is happening currently is that in organizations, we hardly get a project which is a greenfield project, a project which is starting from the scratch. What we are getting the things which has already been built few years back, when people got a chance, they have done anything and everything. They have put all the data, all the garbage and everything over there. And now, when the relationships happen, when the things are happening, it all goes haywire. And if you tell someone to improve that analysis, boss, this will take another 5 years of time. No need to just put your hand dirty in it. Come, do your work and go off. That's it. And this is what is the people are doing it. Honestly speaking.
I agreed, but that is, mindset depends on the personas, right? What I feel, actually, scratch type of project, or which is starting from the scratch, can implement by anyone, right? Because he knows everything on that side. But actually, what I feel, the work which we have to do analysis, we have to prepare some reports, and based on that, we have to go further for cleaned up the things. That is most tough job. And if we are getting that type of things on any project, we should go forward and look into it. Now I'm just simply mentioning one thing. In current project, what I'm working, I'm looking for two things. One is, there are lots of ACLs written on the platform which is never used or which is never required, right? I'm just working on
Mhm.
the cleanup of that side. It's a good. And second is archiving. So we have lots of data available, trillions of not trillions I can say, but yeah, millions of the CI is there, millions of the data available in each table which related to CSM or incident or whatever, right? So no one is think about earlier when the instance is set up to
Yeah.
archive or put some rules on it, right? So I take it up, as a active, I can say, or opportunity, and helping out my team members on it that side. Right. So it's just all about you, how you definitely, I'm always saying, and what I'm always see, whoever doing the work, right, and who are doing the good work in right directions, having some issues always, right, and having escalations, right?
Yeah.
So don't worry about ki, like you are not getting the fresh project, do it. So it's just because if you see the 5 years back, nothing is available like CSDM. Okay, nothing is available. I implemented service mapping for, I think, seven years back for a customer. I also don't know the service mapping, which table we have to be create, because there is no different type of tables. Only the one table is there, which is application services. Right. We are working on that one. We are creating the record. But now you have business applications. You are connecting business services to the application services. Then application service going to be connected with the technical services and the different things. Right. You are connecting now offerings, and based on that, you are building the catalogs and other things. Right. So it depends. Time is evolving, and then based on that, we have to be improve ourselves. Simple. And again, lots of, and CSDM is just introduced to be standardize the all organization on a single place to use these services, because end of the day, everyone is providing the service. Like if I talk about IT, we are providing the services for different type of use cases. Example, support is there, operations are there, right, for any applications and all, right. If you talk about the manufacturing, they are providing the services to manufacturing the products, marketing that particular product, right. The same way BFSI is providing the service related to our accounts and all of that. So everything is providing service, but how we can, use standardized process across all type of customers to put in a service side and mapping the correct relationships, that CSDM comes in the picture. Earlier that is not happening. Anyone is going to be create the applications, anyone is going to be create the business services, right? And they are not finding the impact on the business service or service levels. Right now, if you see incidents having services or business services, and based on the service offering is there, and based on that catalog will be there, right? So now, or based on that CI will be mapping also there, right? So now things is changing. If they are selecting the correct hierarchy, that is impact or showcasing the right impact on right side. Earlier that is not there, right? So things are changing basically.
Mhm.
So that's why I don't want to go little deep on that side, because I can, if I go too deep on that side, I cannot train you in the CSDM. I'm frankly saying on that side, right? So basically, the thing is, you just understand what CSDM is doing, how that can be implemented, what are the different phases of the CSDM, which working, and from where you have to be start. That I think always.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so if I move to the CSDM data model 4.0, here is the five modules or five domains are there, right? First, if you see the build or assess, SDLC domain. Second is design, where you are designing your business capabilities, and then business capabilities you are mapping with business applications and then information objects, right? Here if you see, uh, for design part we required enterprise architect and the application owners to be worked with us. The third part is sale and consume, which required business relationships manager or the customer service managers who are responsible for those particular services, right? And then we have a managed technical services, where we are defining all our services under the business services or under the business applications. And there are different application owners comes in the picture. One is application service owner, one is technology service owner, and then is technology service owner which is related to delivery, right? And then last is foundation data. But in foundation data, different pupils comes in the picture, which is process owners, contract managers, product owners, and the data stewards, right? So the thing is, what I feel, if you want to start the CSDM implementation, the first thing is you have to be focused on your foundation data in the first place. You have to be clean up the foundation data. You have to be arrange your foundation data in that way, because end of the day that foundation data is only thing which is going to be utilized by each module, you can say, or each phase, right? So here we have to be describe our business processes, we have to be design our contracts, we have to be design our product models, which is again going to use for the discovery and CI's relationships or assets and other things, right? We have to go with the CMDB groups. We have to be define our locations, proper locations based on our data centers or based on our offices or based on our sub offices or branches or whatever. Then we have groups, we have groups we have to be managed, the users we have to be managed, and then company business units and department should be managed properly, and the last is life cycle. So for every foundation data have a life cycle. For every whatever we are going to use in the CSDM have a life cycle. We have to be define a proper life cycle process for that. If a service is introduced for now, and if it is going to be retired or if it is going to be deprecated after 5 years or 4 years, the properly life cycle management should be there. The same way for locations or groups or whatever. So that should be required, right? So to implement that particular CSDM model, if I go little down, I'm not going to that one because we have already discussed. There are four or five phases to implementation of the CSDM, right? So in this particular document, it's nothing. But in this document, they have mentioned the foundation data, what foundation data do, what business service applications or business processes do, where we are going to be store the data, then contract, what is the contract, and where we are going to be store the information about the contract, right? That information is there. I'm not going to be deep dive into that because end of the day these are the tables. We just describing what tables is doing what information, right? So if I just little slowly go down, yeah, here, so it's a design document, or I can say design model, where we have enterprise and application owners comes in the picture. So first of all we have to be design the business capability, right? So business capability is high level capability that organization requires to execute its business model or fulfill its mission, right? So in simple words, if I say business capability can be an HR capability, a finance capability, a IT capability, a different type of capabilities are there. Under that, while we are going to be HR or IT or the finance, under that we have different that type of portfolios or business applications will be there, right? Then we are moving to the service side. That basically it's mentioning here, right? So if I just let me skip these particular things. I don't want to go this one again. No, let's leave this one. Yeah. So basically, these are the five phases of CSDM implementations which required. So as I mentioned, the first is foundation, right? So focus on the reporting requirements, and based on that we have to be fix our core data or the core tables or foundation tables which first required in the first phase, that is foundation. Then next come is crawl phase, where we are going to be define the business applications, where we have to be define the business capabilities with sitting the customers, and then we have to be define our application services and discovered piece and part, right? So how we are going to be connect the all informations which is coming as a business applications or service and discovered pieces, that informations we are gathering and we are connecting to that, right? The third phase we called walk, where we are focusing on I hope it's visible to you guys, right?
It is
Yes, sir. Yes.
very, yes,
Now it's fine.
better, better, better.
Yeah. So then we have walk phase, where we are designing about dynamic CI groups, technical services, technical service offerings and service portfolios. Then run is business service offerings and business service, and then last comes to the fly, where we are defining the information objects, catalog items and business capabilities again, right? So these are the five steps from where we have slowly and gradually going to be start, and based on that we are designing our things there on implementation of the customer, right? So if I specifically mention of the foundations, like foundation data is required more for reporting. It's like more often that we like to admit, we consider reporting too late in our projects. What we do, we not never think about when we are designing any solutions for any customer, we are not thinking about the reporting. If customer asks for the reporting, how we will do, right? We design the first solutions and then we are thinking about the reporting. But no, first of all, whenever we are designing the solutions for any customer for any specific need, we also think about the reportings, how customer can get the value at using the reporting, right? So then we have a couple of tables like organization structures, companies, then we have business units, right? We have to be define that data particularly, then locations we have to be do that, right? Then groups, users, CMDB groups, product models, we have to be define that particular manual data, how, where, now little analysis comes in the picture. We have to see how the data is coming from, it's coming from integrations, or the manual is going to be updated. If it is going to be manual updated, we have to be design a process to be come through a approval process, or it's come through a catalog. If anyone comes wants to be create a new location, don't do it, don't give it on, simply he will drop an email and you created a location. No, that's all about the process. You can design a process. If you want to an approval, add a new location, add a new company, or add a something, just go with this particular catalog, submit this one, get your approval manager, get that particular, the CMDB manager approval, and based on that you can proceed further, right? So if you design that process is there, automatically lots of things you are going to be fixed it, right? Then second thing is cleanup. Then slowly and gradually you need to understand how many locations are there, are duplicate locations are there, or the different naming conventions are they are using, what are the life cycle of this locations and all, right? Slowly and gradually you have to be clean up, right? It's just an example for location. The same thing will applicable for company as well. So company, you have lots of companies, your all companies or your all vendors companies, right? Sometimes that are not standardized, they are not normalized, they are not using the standard name for their things, right? So you definitely have to use those particular things to be normalized. A normalized plugin to be normalized that company names, and based on that you have to, fix or see what company is active, what type of it is company. It's a vendor or it's a partner or it's what it is, right? We have to use the correct values there. So that everything, first always think about to a process design, how we can design a process and how we can fix it, right? Then then if I go here, found what the value of the foundations, right? So if you see, we are able to define that one, but foundation of many service now product and the now platform, early alignment of reporting requirement like will expedite the data model value realization and reduce or eliminate costly rework to align data and to reporting requirements, right? Then if we are doing in the proper way, then we are able to think about what reporting and other things we required, right? Then crawl phase. In crawl phase, we are going to do those what is applications. Under that applications, business service, business applications comes in the picture, which we are going to be defined. Already we have discussed, right? So which is application which is used by business specific, right? That is going to be added in business applications. Then we have application services where we are going to be connect up that particular business applications to a business service, and application service, and under application service we can showcase that infrastructure is running on that particular business application, right? So that we are going to do using the service maps and mapping the relationships, right? I'm going little fast, I know, but it's nothing. It just only we have to be understand each phase what we have to do and where we have to do, right? Then walk, we have to be define the technical services and all. So these particular things we have to be defined slowly and gradually to completing the one phase or one area, and then we are going to be moved out to the next things, right? So if you see here, we design the business applications, then technical services becomes in the crawl phase we updated or we design these particular area. Then in the walk phase we are going to design this particular area where service offerings, business service and service portfolio comes, right? And then last run where we are going to define the business capabilities, the top level capabilities, which is going to be connect with the service business services and then service portfolios, and service portfolios again going to be connect with technical service and all, right? So as I mentioned, it's all about the data load, and if you are going to be do the data load, this is the specific relationships which you are going to use it, right? So if you define a business capability, example IT, that's connecting to a business applications. Under IT there are lots of applications. I'm using the example of Teams, right? So business capability IT to Teams, you have to make a relationships provided by one record is created now. Then if you are going to be connect with business applications, business capability to business service, right? Now business service can be directly connect to business app, this one, or can be also connected with the service offerings, right? So if you go that, then it's also going to use the provided by service or relationship types. Then business applications comes in the picture. Then it's going to be connect with the information object with uses by uses relationships. So the thing is we have to take care these out of the box relationships types and how one component are connecting to the other component. That is more important because that's are giving the value realizations in end of the day to us, right? And that's all that's all about in this CSDM. If I go to specific examples, right? Here if you see there are three: managed technical service, design, and the consume phase is going to be utilized here. So as a architecture type platform host, there is one application which we called O365 E5, right? So that we are going to do in the design phase, right? Now we have designed and finalized the applications. Under that again we have couple of different applications comes under at the platform app, and we have Teams, we have SharePoint Online, we have Exchange, right? So these application design, which is business applications we have designed, that comes in the design phase. Then we make a relationships using the consume by consume relationships, and which is connecting to the application services, Teams as, SharePoint as, or Exchange Prod or Dev, that comes in the managed technical design, right? So where we are designing that one, and then last is who are is going to be consumed that information, right? So how it's going to be consumed, that's going to be consumed by business service offerings, or that going to be consumed by business service offering for SharePoint sites and Outlook, right? So its name in convention is giving you that information, like who are going to be consumed that one and how it's going to be connected with other services, right? So it's connecting with bus business service offering, connecting with messaging services with reference relationships, then file services, and Outlook is going to be connected with email services, and service portfolio communications is connecting with this particular one, right? So it just a specific plan to identifying that things and connecting that informations or the data with particular relationships types in the CSDM side. The same way, there is one more example for business applications, which is Active Directory. Again, here it's going to be directly connecting to that particular application services, right? So if you see, that's how it's going to be connected. There are technical service identified, there are service offerings identified, and that's going to be connected with this through this app, exchange applications, right? And then exchange application connected with different type of service mapping fields, right? So these comes in service mapping. End of the day, we call application service, but here we are defining the CIs. And the CIs, based on the CIs, we can define the route, dynamic CI groups, we can define the technical service offerings and the technical services. The same way we can define specific dynamic CI groups for Windows servers. Then which team is offering Windows servers admin is this one, where is hosting services, right? So we are going to be define those particular things slowly and gradually. Right, so that I just want to specifically mention using that CSDM examples, right? I don't have anything, no, I don't have anything related to that. So, we need to, yeah, one more thing I have it, one more thing. Yeah, CSDM data modeling sheet, right? I have just exported from now create. So if you see, I just quickly showcase you how, because collecting the data is one of the mm, big challenge, I can say, right? So let's take an example. We have a service which is a business service, which is we are going to be managing the CMDBCI business service table, desktop laptop services. Under that we have Windows laptop, Mac laptop, endpoint client security, right? Then what support group we have to be manage the support group here. Then we have to business approval group we have here, and then it if anything loads, right? So notes will, I just put it example here, request item for Windows laptop, because how that is requested. Then request item for Mac laptop, should home setup as a request? Yes. So couple of questions you can ask, and based on that you can connect it, right? So you find business app, business service one, and under that there are a couple of service offerings is there available, right? The first thing, and the same way business applications, what type of business applications customer have it, right? Then if I go little down, analysis and reporting services, what they are using, connectivity, so that they are doing, and same way they are going to be mapped with this particular like example service productivity service. Office productivity is one of the service where these four things is comes picture, where which is supporting my desktop software services is Office, Adobe Pro, Adobe Standard, or WinZip. Which table is responsible? Service desk is responsible for that, right? So we need to be aligned. The first business service data, as I mentioned, then technical services. Again, technical services nothing, but if a requester comes to you and ask you to showcase or give me a they provided you some criteria, and based on that he's looking for something, right? So you can go and create the technical services, right? Under that, what offerings they are looking for, you can do that, like on-prem cloud computing relationships contains, and under that we have these particular service offerings like Windows admin, Linux admin, Windows admin Japan, AWS admin, or Azure. Under that, which support group we have it, under that what approval group we are using, and which CIs are there that we can do that. If it is mapped to cloud, then we have to go with the cloud hosting things, where we are specifically mentioning about the cloud admins and those support groups and all other informations, then storage, data network management or network, that particular things we are going to be doing our business, our technical service. Then business app import, business applications from where it comes, like what is business applications we are using, what are the applications type it is, what are the architecture type, it's on cloud or on-prem, installation type, description, IT application owner, lifecycle stage, lifecycle status, that we are going to be collect. Then app service import, related to that, one app service can be running on the three different environments, right? So always make sure when you are creating application services, because you are going to be connect the infrastructures, create based on the environments, like specifically mention SAP host prod, SAP ERP prod, SAP manufacturing prod, workday SaaS log. So if one service is running in the three different environment, create the three different application services and connect to that particular one business service, right? That is the best practices says. Then we have tech service imports, where again we are going to be do the technical services, tech service of offline import. And then last is relationships, where we are putting the relationships, like this is my application service which have the contains by content relationships, and using the technical service offering this. So that only the way we can achieve, we can align our system with CSDM. I just want to showcase this one. I definitely understand lots of questions are there, but yeah, just ask whatever questions you have. It let me try to help you out on that as well. Michael, I go a little fast, I know, but I hope you are able to correlate what I'm trying to mention here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, please.
All right.
Okay, any other questions from others? Abhi, Klavya, Ritam, Faida, Deepak.
So Ajay, this worksheet which you are showing right now, data modeling worksheet, can you share it with us?
Yeah, I can share it, right? I got it from the Now Create only, because when I doing research, because I need something to be showcase you how you are going to be collect the data. I can share with you. No issues.
Okay, okay.
This is just an example sheet. Let me save this and I can share with you. Okay, anything else?
So out of this application service, business application, whatever we are discussing right now, service offering. So any component which is getting auto discovered, like I can say business applications we are creating, application service also we are creating, service
Mhm.
offering also we are creating. So anything which is getting auto discovered, like out of apart from actual CIs.
No, nothing is going to be auto discovered here. Right. When you are saying auto discovered means only that lower component which is connecting to, let me come back to the first slide. One moment. Yeah, whatever comes here on the CI side, which is going to be auto discovered, right? Now, as I mentioned, if you remember earlier, these particular informations related to the services, related to business applications, that customer is going to be managed on their enterprise tool, which we called LeanIX, right? I heard for a couple of customers using LeanIX, and I've integrated with that as well. So they are managing or maintaining that informations there, and we can integrate with Linux to the service now to pull that informations or that particular relationships or application service names or business service names, and from there to, if we don't want to create it manually or if we don't want to go with the import sets, right? So we can do that particular things relation connectivity to get it from there. Otherwise, these are all are the logical components, right? Now if you say, if I ask you, Microsoft Office is, everyone is calling in simple words, it's Microsoft Office. If I ask you what you're using in your organizations for email purpose, you say I'm using Outlook or Microsoft Office, right? But now putting that Microsoft Office on the service side, it's my choice. I just want to put Microsoft Office, Office application as a logical name, or I can put Microsoft Office as enterprise application as a logical name, right? So it varies customer to customer. It's a logical name. Anything anyone want to do any based on their requirements, right? So that cannot be discovered anyhow. And that's not tagged with any, and not running or not tagged with any CI. We are going to do that particular mapping once we are going to discover those particular informations, and then we are going to be mapping relationships using us. Okay, any question from anyone else? Yeah.
I'm good at it.
Okay, so with that, yeah, Abhi, you're asking something?
Yeah, just one thing. Like if suppose we are already doing service mapping, okay,
Mhm.
tag based, endpoint based. So that also giving us the like complete hierarchy, the complete relationship of
Mhm.
the service component, business component, whatever things are there. Okay.
Mhm.
So CSDM, how that is actually helping the organization? I'm not getting.
Now tell me, you are implementing the service mapping. Okay.
Mhm.
Service mapping, what you are doing? You are implementing or mapping the infrastructures to a particular CI service,
Yeah,
right? Apart from that, you are doing anything else?
yeah, nothing.
Nothing, right? The same way, if you see on my screen, you are here. This is application service, and this is your component, right?
Mhm.
Up how this application going to be connect with the business service offerings? How it's going to be connected with the business service? That is also required. End
Okay.
of the day, whatever you are creating a service maps using the infrastructures, that is connected to a business service or business service offerings, right? If you are not defining this hierarchy, no one is able to understand how that application service is connected or which business service is going to be impact, right? Now let me give an example, simple example. A application, let me take an example of Airtel again, right? You have an application Airtel which is running on your mobile. That is a business application. If anything is impacted on it, right, that is impact to that all over India, or users are not able to do, or couple of things will be impacted, that impacting the Airtel business directly, right? Under that, there are lots of business service offerings, right? They are offering you a recharge, they are offering you mobile bill payments, they are offering you DTH service, they are offering you Airtel Black, couple of service they have it, right? Now each service have each application, because application service might be components are different, might be recharge is while you are doing recharge in, you are not able to see it as an end user, but if you are doing as a infra user, if I say why you are doing, go click on the recharge, I'm connecting to the X server, then it's going to be connecting to that, sorry, X load balancer, that it's going to be connected to Y web server, and then W application servers, and X so and so, right? But if I clicking on the DHA service, might be it's going to be connected to the different server load balancer. So different application service in the comes in the picture, different business service comes in the picture, but end of the day, they are serving the one business service, which is Airtel application. Getting my point? So that CSDM gives you the complete information, and that CSDM is aligning you to make that relationships with the different component which is used here. I
Okay,
hope
got it.
you correlate it now, right?
Yeah, thank you.
That's basically do. And the top of it, you can do, if you have CI discovered, CI available in the layer, you can create the technical service, and these particular things, nothing but it just to expose and showcase the impact to the particular users, specific users, which can be belongs to technology service owners, infrastructure team, or the delivery team. Okay, yeah, that's all. Any other questions from anyone else? Okay. If no, I think with that, I'm handing over the complete ITOM batch to you guys now. If you have any questions, feel free to connect me. We'll connect, we'll discuss, but with that, the ITOM batch 3 is complete. Okay. I hope you
Thank you.
guys okay. You
Thank you,
got
Ajay.
from there. But thank you so much to be supporting me or attending the classes on the time. It's little delayed, I know. That particular things earlier I covered in within 39 days, the all component which I'm showcasing you here. But this time I just took more time to be give you more comprehensive knowledge, and I understand that will give you some value add to you as well, right? So that I feel let's extend that sessions and let's go for now. So we have 10 days extended this time, but it's good if you get it something from there. Okay, so yeah, that's all guys. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thanks a
much.
lot, Ajay. Yeah, it's really helping us to actually to working in ITOM arena, I can say. Yeah, and even attending the interviews also. Yeah,
Sure.
Ajay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, Iklavya.
Okay. Ajay, I would like to echo it with the two folded hands. Thank you so very much for all the efforts and the sincere effort, I must say. My humble apologies for my queries, questions, and jumping on the topic. But that is something which is like I cannot help much because that is a part of my trait or my personality. Like I get little impatient sometime. Like if I'm not able to visualize the things, my humble apologies, and I am on a way to improve it going forward. And we'll be like meeting you, and our path will like again be intersecting again and again, since like we both are into the same industry and will support each other. And hopefully like whenever I come back with my queries, I may get like a full support as you have supported during the course. Thank you so very much, Jay. I really appreciate all your efforts. Thank you very much.
Definitely, Iklavya. Thank you so much for your feedback. But I'm also like you, right? I'm also sometimes saying, we have some patience, but sometimes whenever we see something new, right? I'm also don't have a patience. I think, let's explore right away, right? So it's not a big deal. And second thing is asking questions, whatever. I never stop anyone to ask the questions, whatever they want to be asked, they can ask it, right? But I only think, uh, we have just some patience only, right? So if we are going to be follow a particular path where we have to be started from the scratch and we have to go advance, we first day we cannot complete the advanced things, right? We have to be go with the slowly and gradually to reach out that particular path. But yeah, thanks a lot. Definitely, if you need any help, any support from my side, again, I'm just mentioning you guys, I'm little going to be occupied from the next week, right? My CTA is started now, and my project work is running on, and couple of things are going on. So I'm little occupied, but don't think if you're not able to respond from my side on the time. Definitely, as soon as I get time, I am going to be respond to you. Don't worry about that. Or if you feel I'm not responding, don't hesitate to call me. I will, if I'm not responding or
Thank you,
not
Jay.
your call now, definitely I will pick your call you back after some time, 100%.
yeah. Thanks a lot, Ajay.
Okay, sure.
Thanks a lot, Jay.
That's closing the
Thanks a
session
lot,
now.
Ajay.
Have a good day. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah, same to you. Take care.
Same to you. Have a great day.
Thank you.